I guess I would just bring it back to a couple of specific points. It is something that we're going to have to pay for, and specifically, I guess, bringing the residents on board. So it is a cost that we're going to have to acquire over the next 5 years, no matter how we look at it. And then, frankly, it's not going to be cheaper at any point than it is today. So I would be in favor of moving forward with it for those reasons specifically. But really just hammering point that, as well as just the risk. If we don't do it now, maybe we get another year out of it, but gosh, if next year it fails catastrophically, maybe we get $250,000 at best from the insurance carrier, but we're paying an extra $2 million because it's an emergency rebuild as opposed to something that we have more control over the costs. And the best opportunity to do that would be now.
All right. John, anything from you?
I've asked all the questions. I've toured the salt barn, and there's no question that most certainly does need to be rebuilt, torn down and rebuilt. And I did speak briefly with Pat because I did have some questions with respect to concrete versus the wood siding, and we do have an opportunity to get additional information before we make an absolute decision as to, okay, we're going to save $170,000 here. Maybe we save additional money on the bonding and the insurance. We have time to look at that, but I'm in favor of accepting the low bids. And congratulations on the grant. Also, that's a huge help. So, whoever wrote the grant, I think Maria.
I didn't write it.
Well, they did a great job. It's a huge help on this project.
Our teams are awesome. I mean, Pat and his team provided the information needed for the grant. About the specifics, the grants don't get funded, so we do all work together and give our parts.
Yeah, you have a great team.
Yeah.
So congratulations to your team.
Yeah, and I need to thank Maria because all of us were busting down her cube doors 24/7 with the DEC. Normally we would have heard by the end of December, middle of December, but it was middle of January, and I'm popping over to her every day. Hey, have we heard anything? Have we heard anything? So thank you for putting up with us, Councilwoman.
Same. As it relates to the grants, I think it's very important. Not only does this project need to be done to support the community, we have a $600,000 grant, which is huge, especially since Pat had shared during the workshop that this is the second grant that's ever been authorized for a rebuild. So the fact that we have that grant now is the time to make the investment. The town has done a wonderful job with the grant consultant and the grant team and the department heads in getting money for these large capital projects that we've undertaken and will have to undertake in the future. And for that reason, we don't want to be in a position of having to decline that grant in addition to this being an important project. So I'm in favor of moving forward.
Garrett?
We've talked about this. We try and make the best decision we can. We try and really do our homework and dig in and make sure we get the best deal for the town. And we all know the salt barn's old. Same thing as Vosburg. Those things have to be replaced, which just means if we do that, now other decisions we make subsequent to that, it's got a lot harder because the town's already under substantial debt. This is adding to it. So we just got to be even more conscious going forward. Every decision we make, they get harder from here. And that's the reality of being up here. We take that very seriously. We're not rushing to these decisions. We're making them with as much hard work as we can put in and recognize that going forward, those decisions get harder based on these decisions.
No, and that's very true. Everybody up here, I think we've all gotten so much information and done so much research on the salt barn. I've toured it myself too. The wood is essentially as soft as one of my son's stuffed animals. It's interesting, but this team up here has done a lot of research and is not making these decisions lightly. I know Councilman Wagner and I are both in favor of a capital improvement plan for once we start building this stuff, and Pat is on board with it, so that once we do build this salt barn, we have a plan for how to maintain this to keep the costs down as it goes. Like these are tough decisions, like Garrett said. So thank you for that. And with that,
Well, just one other thing I want to bring up with respect to the highway projects. This is in addition to the highway project, and kudos to Pat and to Campus Construction and bringing in the major aspect of the project on time and under budget. That was a huge project. And if anybody has an opportunity to, at some point, to set an appointment up with Pat and do a tour, you will be very, very impressed with the new building over there. And while you're there, take a tour of the outside of that salt barn. I was amazed at the deteriorated level that barn has come to. And why did it get that way? It got that way because of politics. Okay, it never, ever, ever should have been allowed to get into that state of deterioration without being addressed. In my opinion, that building should have been torn down and rebuilt 10, 15 years ago. So again, Pat, your team's doing a great job out there. I don't know the young lady's name that represents Campus Construction, but thanks for all the assistance you guys have given us. You've got a hell of a team out there, and you've done a great job. So thank you.
Thanks, John. So this is 3 separate resolutions or contracts that we have.
They would be 3 separate resolutions. There's 3 different contracts you're awarding low bid for.
All right. So I am going to do this. Contract 1, Contract 2, Contract 3. I believe you guys have read them via your packets. John has it physically, but
Is contract 1, 2, and 3 the correct wording for them in the motion, or do we need to be more specific?
I would recommend that include specifics as to who the low bid was. So, for example, contract number 1, low bid being awarded to Whitney East. I would include that level of detail.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
all right, we got to pull that up then. Nope. All right. So I make a motion that contract 1 for the low bid for this highway salt barn wash station be presented to Whitney East.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Yes, but do we need to put the amount in that approval as well?
Thank you, John. So it's
Bear with us, folks. This is Robert's Rules of Orders in action here.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Okay. So we're amending the resolution that it was still being presented to Whitney East in the amount of $3,986,000.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
I would also like to make a motion that contract number 2, plumbing to DG Mesner Corporation in the amount of $168,000.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
All right. And I also make a motion that contract number 3, electrical to Concord Electrical Corporation, be awarded to the amount of $274,000.
Second.
Supervisor Sheldon,
Aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright,
Aye.
Councilman Hunter,
Aye.
Councilman Wagner.
Aye.
All right. The next one, while it is just a resolution to amend a bond resolution to increase, I would like to ask if any of the board has anything they would like to add
I
for the
do.
Vosburg pump station.
No.
Anybody?
Not at this time.